board.
I don't know what's happening. Sergeant Hammer has been selected. So
What?
if you
What
welcome
is
to the
going
stream.
on?
Welcome
To the stream. Welcome to madness.
Sergeant Hammer in the house, followed up by Taronda. Okay. I'm not. So if you're Beat Boop, you either ban a damage dealer that you don't plan on picking and you don't want to play against, or you ban a warrior and then you pick a warrior. But banning a warrior could be bad because, honestly, Reckoning could turn around and ban one too. I'm not sure if I would do that, given that they only have one damage dealer. But
I'm still trying to get over the hammer pick, Josh. Especially on Towers of Doom, considering there's really not as much in the way of pushing.
I think it's good in some sense because if the altar's in the right spot, you can position pretty well over the walls. But I don't know, I'm not a fan of it. I guess we'll see how they make it work.
Yeah.
Tassadar banned. That's actually a decent plan from Beat Boop to ban that out. They're not planning to run it, and honestly, Hammer plus Leeching Plasma can be really annoying.
And just the shields in general.
Yeah.
I mean, when you throw both of those hybrid supports together, they can get pretty annoying with the shields and stuff. And they definitely could have taken Tassadar because all they really need is a tank.
Yeah, they have a lot of poke between Taronda, Sergeant Hammer, and Kael'thas. They could poke pretty effectively around an altar. So
I like we saw in last game though. I really like the Taronda pick on Towers of Doom.
Yeah, I agree.
Just those owls and the lunar flare, just so much good disruption and so much good poke for those altars. And it looks like they're going to do Johanna. And Johanna.
Interesting. So, not wanting to play against Johanna, I guess it makes sense in that they do have a Li Ming. So there is some setup for Li Ming that Johanna's quite good at. I wonder if they've not... I don't know what their warrior plan is, and this makes me wonder a lot more about it. Because now they've banned out a warrior, and almost certainly we're going to see one from Beat Boop, and we do in the form of Muradin. Muradin Vala.
Oh, I haven't seen Vala for a little while. I like this. I like seeing Vala. I mean, right now Beat Boop's team looks pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what Reckoning does with these last two picks, though. Hammer pick is unconventional, but what are they planning to do with it? What is the warrior that we're going to see here?
I feel like Josh, and I feel Tassadar was almost targeted ban too to keep that force wall from coming up and allowing that extra zone for Hammer.
Yeah.
I definitely could see that. They're going to need to get some picks that will allow them to protect that Hammer. And so it looks like we have Raynor.
Okay. So Raynor.
What do you think? Diablo, maybe?
I could see a Diablo.
ETC possibly. There's not. We got one stun.
With Diablo, you're basically conceding that he's probably going to die when he goes in. But if he could set up a pick and do some damage, maybe
because they do have Taronda, so they could have some sort of roaming gank, and it's
okay.
I don't even know. I don't even know what's real anymore.
Reckoning, you've blown my mind. Well done.
I just don't know.
I am very excited to see. There's not...
This is either going to be really incredible or really painful. I don't feel like there's going to be any middle ground with this.
I am very interested to see how a solo tank Artanis and a solo support Taronda are going to keep a Sergeant Hammer alive on this. I don't know.
Against Li Ming and Rhaegar.
I want to see it. I'm not saying it's impossible.
So you're saying you want to believe. Is that what you're saying? You want to believe?
I want to believe.
Yeah.
And then Sonya. Okay.
Man.
It's kind of an interesting idea to take a here.
We got a very meta team on the side of Beat Boop.
And on the other side, in the blue trucks,
we have unconventional City.
I'm a little bit confused on the taking Sonya over Thrall. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's kind of preference. They're both very good heroes, but I like Thrall. I like Thrall against Hammer for one thing because you can root her so
Yeah,
she can't get
yeah.
away. Sundering is very dangerous because if you're in siege mode, you're stationary.
I'm very surprised that we didn't see Thrall at all this draft. No ban and no pick.
I don't know. Reckoning, you gotta sell me on this Artanis Hammer thing.
I am willing to believe, Josh. I am willing to believe.
Yeah,
I want to believe.
I want to believe.
I want
but
to believe. So we'll see. We'll see if they can do it.
It's such an interesting comp. It might be the most interesting composition we've casted.
Maybe it's something crazy that they've just practiced the crap out of.
With Hammer, Artanis, and Raynor, you almost wonder if a Morales might not have been a fun idea.
Yeah, I could see that.
Obviously, Tyrande brings a lot more than healing, but
yeah, but I mean, a Morales on that team would have brought so many stim drone targets.
yeah,
You could stim drone Hammer, you could stim drone Raynor, you could stim drone Artanis.
When the Raynor came out in that draft was when I was like, okay, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Not sure, but I want to know.
I don't understand. We're just waiting for one more player to ready up.
Really interested by this draft. I like that Beep Boop did go with a melee as their last pick because Artanis is going to have trouble keeping the backline secure. And honestly, a lot of it is going to be stuns from Kayle, stuns from Tyrande, and just the general feeling of I don't want to walk in that Hammer's range and get slammed repeatedly with auto attacks. But like that Sonya, if she gets on top of that Hammer, she's going to do a lot of damage, and Artanis is not going to easily be able to stop her.
Josh, do you think we'll see Leap?
It's possible. Against this composition, it's very possible. Let me just put it that way.
Yes, I think it's very viable. Okay, so the game is starting. Game is starting. Let me fix our
synergy from either team. Very upsetting.
Fix our team names here. Beep boop. Boop boop.
I'm loving these games tonight, TBK. We got a really great finish.
I don't understand this, but I'm completely okay with it.
I'm down. Yeah, exactly.
I am down with this. Let's see this happen, Reckoning. Please sell me on this. I really want to know.
I have to be honest, if I saw this game in Top Draft, I would not give it to Reckoning, but sure. Let's do it.
All right, so we have Reckoning on the left side here, Shazam on Hammer, Nasushi on Kael'thas, Claky D on Raynor, Teriel on Artanis, and Rahat on Tyrande.
And then for Beep Boop, we have Oop on Muradin, Trim on Sonya, Nightmare playing Li Ming, Deej Forticus on Vala, and what would you do for a Klondike bar? Would you bark like a ghost wolf? Well, Klondike would. He's playing Rhaegar.
Wow, that was good.
Thank you.
That was good.
I'm having
Oh no, Kael'thas! Oh no! Oh, Kael'thas. Oh, Kael'thas, why? The party bush says you are not welcome to this party.
Beep Boop, engage target mid lane, and
target destroyed.
Indeed. Meanwhile, there's gonna lose a little bit of XP bottom here. A few minions go down. We've got a big rotation from Beep Boop to the top, and Artanis gonna be okay.
Bottom lane is a three-man push right now. Not a whole lot to stop this Hammer and Tyrande Raynor in the bottom, but this four-man rotation, and Kael'thas just gets blown up again.
That
target
is
destroyed.
That is 2 deaths before the 1 minute mark for Kael'thas, so you got to make sure you just keep a positive mindset. Watch for enemies on the mini-map.
Gotta have that D-empowered gravity lapse ready to go.
And Beat Boop is engaging hard on bottom lane.
Rotation bottom. Hammer is in huge trouble. Clayky D taking tons of damage, and Shazam will go down right afterwards. Tyrande running for her life.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Siege Mode is the fabled self route, and tried to get out of there in time, but just not quick enough, unfortunately.
Altars engage. It's
nice.
It's time. It's time for altars. 10 seconds to spawn. 2 altars spawning, 1 in the middle, 1 in the bottom. And Beep Boop is set up and ready to go. Kael'thas, no! No, Kael'thas!
Wow, he's okay. He makes it out.
Does make it
Artanis
out this time. Nightmare's gonna go ahead and channel that middle one. Clayky D trying to poke Rhaegar a little bit. Actually, Vala taking a good bit of damage bottom.
But
And
now the rotation coming in from Beat Boop at this point, and the question is, no, and they're just gonna get. I mean, the Tyrande might poke it with the owl, but wow, almost. Sonya just goes hard and realizes she's there, and at this point they're just gonna give it up. Wow, Hammer goes in and immediately dies.
Hammer goes in. Tyrande in big trouble right now. Sonya's just spinning to win. Nice Prism, though, on Muradin to get the kill on him.
Yeah, very nice use of Prism. I like that. It's its an ability we often dismiss because it can be low impact if used improperly, but well done by Teriel to get.
It got way better. A few patches back, they buffed the range, the initial range, and the speed, and it's actually quite a bit easier to hit now. Nice disengaged penetrating shot on the bottom to knock back Sonya and Li Ming. Make sure they didn't die in the bottom lane. All the lanes are doing pretty normal right now. The XP is actually extremely close considering that there's 4 extra kills on the side of Beep Boop.
Not only 4 extra kills, but towers also on the bottom lane, so are gone on the side of. Oh, I think that's actually what did it. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Like
extra towers. Wreckoning was able to push Beep Boop's towers down and keep that XP close, which is good. Clayky D taking so much damage, almost a full power orb hitting him, and he is going to fall.
Clayky D really focused on stutter stepping there, but maybe should have just run away.
Inevitable.
Oh wow! And now we have we have Alter coming up mid here. Raw Hat taking a look around, trying to see if anybody is already camped out there. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Sergeant Hammer pushing the lane, gets hit by a Vala Q and trying to back up here a little bit. Positional advantage to beat Boop at this time.
Yeah, they're all around bottom, except for Muradin. Artanis and Muradin both coming down. Rhaegar chasing Sergeant Hammer off. Nightmare with a nice block of that owl to keep TRM able to channel, but a good gravity lapse and a switch, and the switch actually took him out of the flame strike.
Oh, a huge orb from Nightmare, just shredding the enemy team. Raw Hat just barely gets away. Whoa, another one. Artanis goes down.
Oh my gosh.
The resets were so key in that fight, TBK.
Yeah, and I mean, you can tell his mana is nothing. He was just spamming spells, and he was able to take out so many people, and then they just grabbed the mercenary camp right afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, like, Nightmare did so much damage on Li Ming.
You might even say nuclear option engaged.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, he had a great orb over the wall also to secure the kill on that Artanis. There were a couple times where the enemy team was very grouped up and 3+ members got hit by it at basically full strength, and that is a large chunk of health. It's hard to recover from, especially when you only have a Tyrande.
Yep. A nice Lunar Flare, actually, but a good Storm Bolt with that Penetrating Bolt, I believe it looked like. Yes, the Piercing Bolt. To actually stop that engage. Another massive orb by Nightmare. Full damage and chunking that hammer for almost half health. Clayky D, his trait does pop.
Yeah, Clayky D wanted to go deep to get that kill.
Yeah, he did.
He really wanted to go in there and just end Nightmare, but...
He knew he had the trait, he knew he had the health. Shazam, though! Oh my gosh, taking a full-on orb to the face.
Wow. That's, like, again, Hammer hat, if you're in siege mode, you're standing still. It's very easy for Li Ming to target you with an orb. So Li Ming was picked in the first round of picks, so this was not a surprise to Reckoning. And they picked these things anyway, so we have to assume that they're comfortable with them or that they believe they can turn this around late game.
I was gonna say they feel it definitely feels like comfort picks to me. Just like I know this hero well, and let's just go with it. And I mean, Towers of Doom is definitely one of those maps that can drag into the late game because there's no specific ending to it, and if both teams can evenly trade out altars, it can actually last quite a while, but that's just not been the case yet.
And now we have Reckoning, no level 10 talents, and they've already pushed forward, and now they're being engaged on. Claky D just trying to get away, gets the protective shield. Whoa, they turn it around on Sonya now.
Oh no, another full power orb almost eliminates Claky D. They're going to have to be so careful. Artanis rotating down, but Rhaegar and Vala are on the way.
Shazam is alone here, and wow, I'm not sure about this move. He takes a huge orb. Sonya comes in, Wrath of the Berserker, and oh wow, Strafe getting so much mileage. Nightmare throws Disintegrate in, gets the Ancestral, Artanis goes down. At this point, it looks like Reckoning's just going to have to back off.
And man, Artanis was just blown up there. Beautiful Disintegrate by Nightmare to finish off Hammer, even behind the wall. Another orb comes out and more Disintegration. This is really bad for Reckoning.
That's why you don't back on lane, friends. Hammer thought he was safe.
And he's even behind the wall. But man, that Disintegration beam, that's got some range.
Disintegrate doesn't care if you're behind a wall. It transcends matter. So,
yep. Hyperion actually goes out on the bottom. Claky D falls, gets caught out by Muradin and Vala, and unfortunately, that's a heroic wasted.
Interesting decision by Claky D to throw that down, or to even try and 1v1 the Vala. At this point, it's looking pretty bad for Reckoning.
Yep.
We're about to have Beat Boop at 13, so they'll be up a talent tier. And there's definitely going to be another set of altars before Reckoning, like barring something crazy, Reckoning will not be 13 for the next set of altars.
Man, Hammer taking massive Disintegration damage again and just falls.
Seemed like Hammer realized they were dead and decided to just stay in
try
siege
to get the
mode,
extra damage on, yeah.
And
level 13 has been achieved.
Yeah, and
by
let's
Beat Boop.
take a quick look. Kind of a hybrid build from Li Ming. We got Illusionist, but also some orb talents. Mostly a multi-shot build. It's kind of a hybrid build, actually, on Vala.
Phoenix goes out in the middle to try to zone them a little bit, but they're just pushing super hard. I would almost say Beat Boop, advantage achieved.
Yeah, I mean, this is a solid position to be in. For the moment, oh wow, Nightmare, another orb.
And it looks like Nightmare's actually going in an orb build, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's primarily orb based. He did take Illusionist at 13.
So much damage again. Muradin getting in the middle. Raynor goes down. Kael'thas goes down, and Tyrande is just being chased now. Nice stun by Muradin, and she's just gonna pop.
So much damage. Like,
So much damage.
the resets again, like every fight, it seems like he just starts the fight with a kill. We have Artanis dueling here. Artanis and Hammer dueling with Rhaegar. They're about to get hit by another orb. Nightmare trying to line it up. Big orb. These are like hitting at max range.
Yeah. Hammer goes down. Sonya almost chases Artanis in, and they're just going to channel that altar. The bolt from Artanis does come out. It's kind of pushing them back. Phoenix there to zone. Lots of damage. Hyperion's going out. Rhaegar has to use that Ancestral, and Oop is gets really low, but doesn't quite go down. Disintegrate Beam goes out. Claky D and Tyrande both falling again. Starfall, the ult of choice.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Okay, wow, Artanis comes back in, but yeah.
Oh,
that's gonna be bad.
Oh, no.
Nightmare, no health or mana. Probably gonna leave at this point, I would think.
Yeah, probably a decent decision. And, okay, Josh, if you're Reckoning, what do you do at this point? They're down 3 levels. They're down a talent tier. They're about to be down 2 talent tiers. And they haven't gotten any altar shots yet.
It's so rough at this point. Like, you need to just be soaking XP, trying to just at least keep pace. Wow, and they're doing the Merc camp bottom left.
Oh no,
Beep
and
Boop sniffs this
rotation.
out. And, wow, Disintegrate, right away, reset. Another reset. Oh, wow.
Wow, 3 kills. Just, oh. The resets on this Li Ming are just so insane right now.
It's really, a lot of it is the factor that, like, Kael'thas, Sergeant Hammer, and Tyrande are not high health heroes, and if they get hit by a good orb at the beginning of the fight, they're gonna be low, and that's gonna mean a reset potentially.
And Beep Boop is now 2 talent tiers ahead for a very short time. Oops coming in onto Raynor, and I think he's toast.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that tower's not doing much for you, unfortunately, Raynor, especially with this level differential.
And they actually don't finish the Forta.
This is actually a nice strategy. So what you do is, if you don't have a mule, right, you can't heal that fort. So the fort's going to be low. So when altars do spawn, someone can just rotate in and kill it really quickly.
Yep, and then there's nothing you can do to pull that back before the shots.
Yeah, it's actually a really good strategy.
Good point, Josh.
Yeah, no, I like it. I actually really like it. But now Nightmare's actually going to say, okay, altars are up, we're going to take it.
And we see BFG out of Hammer. I love it. Lunar, Starfall goes down. The Ancestral has to go out onto Rhaegar himself, but those resets, Li Ming is just destroying everything.
You have to give a ton of credit to Nightmare. Like, the orbs are landing at max distance, and
it's killing it right now.
You really, like, when you have a hammer, it's like a good guarantee. Wow, and then Muradin almost just baileys down Claky D, and Claky D's gonna, like, chase him, but I really wouldn't do that. Artanis declares not a shutout.
They did manage to grab one of the altars in the mayhem. Shazam! One set of blasts from Li Ming, taking him down to like a 5th health. And they're just gonna need to run. Hammer goes down. Flaky D getting so low. Disintegrate Beam and Sonya taking him down. And now everyone is on the run. Artanis goes down. Tyrande goes down. And I just don't know what Wreckoning can do at this point.
You know, it's a real testament to level differential when 4 people can get hit by a chain bomb and barely notice.
Yep.
But that's what just happened.
That is what just happened.
At this point, Wreckoning is like, oh wow.
he jumped into the towers. That's how high a level advantage they've got right now, that they are actually willing to chase into the towers, and they're actually going to shepherd this mercenary camp to get an extra 3 shots in.
Yeah, this is a good move. This is obviously they have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
But this is not only is it effective because they'll get damage, which they just did, as you said, 3 damage. It's also kind of demoralizing to have the enemy team stand under your fort and just not let you out of your base.
Yeah.
And
very true. And they can just fight under this tower now.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Wreckoning didn't understand.
Claky D taking so much damage. Hyperion does come out. It's actually hitting everyone. Lots of damage going down. Sonya not even falling. Rhaegar with a beautiful ancestral heal. And they just cannot kill anybody from beep boop.
Yeah, he's sort of, like, again, hanging around in the bottom lane like that. I know you want to recap your fort. Everybody wants to recapture the fort. But you're not soaking XP. You're basically standing around near an enemy that's way more dangerous than you are, and you're constantly in their sights. Like, you just need to get out of there.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Bala just gonna free cap this bottom.
And not only that, now all that is needed is a boss capture, and they can end this.
It looks like, oh, actually, they might just try and escort this mercenary camp, because that also would do it.
Man, that's
gonna,
cold.
It is kind of cold.
That's cold. Oh man, look at those orbs! Just max range orbs doing so much damage to these squishy targets.
Yeah.
And it looks like they are going to try and escort these. Kael'thas getting caught out and just blown up. The chain bombs, unfortunately, not having any effect at this 4-level differential.
Yeah, I think that one of the things you're seeing is like the max range orbs are. Oh wow! Like, as I say that, another one comes out. Artanis looking for an opportunity to engage on Li Ming, but not going to get it. Sonya doesn't care.
Here it is. They just jump into tower range, and even with the towers firing on them, they still don't lose anybody. Or the game ends.
That was a quick one, TBK. That was a quick.
Wow. You just have to give massive props to Beep Boop because they played that so well. And man, Nightmare on that Li Ming, I would not want to meet that in Quick Match or Hero League or even in an AI basic game because it would make me feel sad.
So one thing that I saw that Nightmare did really well was not only like obviously the skill shots themselves, but he did take Triumvirate, and that talent does have a bug currently. It's a talent that if it travels at least 2/3 of its base range, the cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds. That talent is bugged because if it hits a minion, it for some reason it doesn't activate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a known bug. He did a very good job of making sure that he did not throw it around.
Yeah, he didn't. He really hit exactly what he was trying to hit every single time. And I mean, he took. If you look at it, it's 3 orb talents. You had Triumvirate, you had Z's Vengeance, and you had the Arcane Orbit at level 16. And I mean, we saw the damage those orbs were doing at the end.
I mean, like it does at even levels, it does a lot of damage. But when you're up 4,
Yeah,
there's like you just need to get out of the way. Like you just need to not get hit. And the comp that we saw from Reckoning was unfortunately not well equipped to deal with a Li Ming.
no, it was not indeed. You can. I mean, if you look at the hero damage, Clanky D actually with quite a bit. He ended up with almost 50k. He was doing huge amounts of damage, but there was just there's no one to block for him while he was trying to do that damage.
Yeah, he actually did a really good job of like really maximizing his he was stutter stepping, like really maximizing his auto attack damage, but like you said, I mean, yeah, Raynor's probably more durable than a normal assassin, but he's not a tank. And Artanis was not able. And I mean tank as in warrior, not tank as in siege tank.
Yeah.
Makes that
So contrary to some people might think, Sergeant Hammer is not a real tank. She just is in a tank that has apparently no armor.
Very little, at least.
Well, congrats to Beep Boop. Man, that was still worth it though, Josh, because I got to do Beep Boop's things. Computer things.
We should have done more oops. I just realized because Murda being played by Oop.
I know.
We really dropped the ball on that one. Really dropped the orb.
Yeah, dropped the orb. What a missed opportunity.
You don't really want to catch the orb though, so maybe that's not the right saying.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a deadly orb.
A lot of orbs got caught, that's for sure.
There were many orbs caught that game, which is very unfortunate for Reckoning for sure. But yeah, that was just a very solid victory by Beep Boop.
A dominant victory. I mean, it was 38-1.
Yeah. All your base belong to us.
Who died? It was Oop. Oops.
Ah, dang it.
Man,
what a feeder.
Way to feed. Report for feed, please.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight for Chair League. I am TBK. You can find me on Twitter at TBKZord, and this is Josh. Follow him at all his places. Where can they find you, Josh?
You can find me on Twitter at Throne Gauntlet. And if you want to check out some of the writing I'm doing about competitive Heroes of the Storm, go to thescoreesports.com, select HOTS in the top left, or just download our app and you can follow everything that I write about competitive heroes.